Hey everybody, it's Marion, and today I've come with a different kind of a video. As you saw on the, what is it called? The beginning of the video, on the picture, the thumbnail, that's what it's called, that it was not a pleasant thumbnail picture. But let me explain what's happening or what happened last week. I want to put a disclaimer out there. This is my story, and this doesn't mean that this would happen to anybody or everybody. So I just want you to know that this is what happened to me and how we have to handle it. So that being said, welcome. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and I hope this video doesn't dissuade you from continuing with the rest of my videos or my previous videos. So thank you for stopping by, and thank you to my tried and trues for always coming by and visiting my channel. So let's see. Tuesday I had a stress test, and I think you all know that I was pretty stressed about doing the stress test. I hadn't felt really right for quite some time, maybe a few months. Just been kind of lightheaded, and I didn't have any pain or anything, but kind of lightheaded and like off balance. And so I went to the stress test at 7:45 on Tuesday morning. And I didn't want to go. I told Nathan I was gonna, in fact, Friday I was thinking about canceling it. I didn't tell him that, but Monday, I told him, I said, I think I want to cancel this appointment. And he says, why? And I said, I just don't want to do it. He says, well, I think you should. He says, you need to get it done, get it over with. You only have to put it off for another week or two, and just do it now and get it over with. And I said, okay. So I listened to my husband, which I am glad now that I did. So we got to the appointment, and they give you this injection. It's isotopes, it's called. It's not the stress test that you have injected, that they inject you with a medication that speeds up your heart as if you're on a treadmill. I told him no, I didn't want that I would walk on the treadmill. So they put the isotopes in. You have to wait 45 minutes and drink two 16-ounce glasses of water, which I did, and then they came and got me, and they said they need to get my heart rate up to 120 beats per minute, however long that might take. She puts it on I think it was a 10% grade, and a speed of 2 miles per hour. I believe that's what it was. So I said, okay. They put me in this machine. First of all, have to put your arms way above your head, and it takes 14 minutes. So 14 minutes with your arms up like this is not a pleasant position. So 14 minutes went by. She took me down, or took me out, and then started the treadmill. I started walking and walking and walking, and I made it to 123 beats per minute. And I said, that's it. I cannot do anymore. I was huffing and puffing, and I had this weird sensation in my chest, like a burning sensation, which I've had before, but never paid much attention to it, which I probably should have. So she said, okay, you're done. We just need an EKG. We need to put you back in that little machine. It's like a CAT scan, but it moves like every 30 seconds past over your chest, like that. So I only had to stay in there for 8 minutes. So again, my arms had to be way up above my head. And so she finished that, and she put me out in the waiting room and gave me another glass of water. She said, drink the water, get those isotopes flowing out of your body. And she said, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm a little lightheaded. But I'm okay. So I sat out there in the waiting room with Nathan. He stayed with me the whole time, God bless him, because it took about 2.5 hours. So I started to have this weird sensation, like an ache or a pain across my back, my shoulder blades in the back, my lower shoulder blades. And I had told her that when she came out to check on me. So she said, okay, let me check with the doctor, let him look at your EKG and whatnot. And so she came back out. She said, doctor wants to see you. So I went in and I sat down, and it was not my doctor who was there. It was another doctor. It was one that was looking over, overseeing the stress test that day. So he was a sweet doctor, and I forgot his name, but he was really, really nice. And he came in to me and he said to me, oh my dear, it appears that you have had a little heart attack. And I'm like, a little heart attack? And of course I started to tear up, and he said, no, don't cry, don't cry. It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. So, that's basically what my day started out. So, for whatever reason, they had me go to the ER right next door. In Massillon, we have the Doable Heart and Vascular Hospital people, where the cardiologists are, and then right next door they have the ER. It's like a branch, it's like a shoot-off of Altman Hospital. So I went in there and I sat there for about 30 minutes, and they finally took me in, got me in a room, checked everything, checked the EKG, and said, yeah, you need to go. So long story short, they made an arrangement for me to go to the cath lab at Altman Hospital in Canton, Ohio. So in the meantime, I'm having some pain now. I'm having some burning again in my chest, and I'm having that pain in my back. And he's asking me if I need some anything for pain. And I asked her, I said, well, what do you have? She said, well, you can have Tylenol or you can have fentanyl. And I'm like, wow. You go from the really, really, really light stuff to the really, really, really heavy stuff. And I said, no, I think I'll be all right. And then about a half an hour later, I said, yeah, I'll take some of that fentanyl. So they dosed me up with the fentanyl. They had an IV in my arm. Of course, they had that in my arm for the stress test as well. So they gave me the fentanyl, and I didn't feel anything for like 4 minutes. And then all of a sudden it hit me, and the room started spinning. But after about 30 seconds of that, I was like so calm, so peaceful, so just no pain. Everything was just so good. So anyway, they got me settled up in a room, or they took me to the cath lab from the hospital ER in an ambulance. So I got right into the cath lab immediately, and they immediately gave me stuff to calm me, to relax me. Not enough as far as I'm concerned, though, because I heard and saw, and I felt a little bit also, but I kept saying that, ow, you're hurting me, because they do it now in your wrist. And I'm going to show you the battle scars. And if you're sensitive to wounds, then I suggest you look away. But for right now, I'll show you what it looks like. They did my right wrist, and they gave me did three puncture wounds. They finally got into my vein, or my artery apparently, and they got into my heart, and apparently I had 2 stents placed. So I've got 2 stents in my heart. Let me tell you what was blocked. My diagonal artery, which this is the picture they gave me, and my left anterior descending. I believe that was called the Widowmaker. Now let me see if I can show you right there. That was one of the arteries that were blocked, and then the other one was the diagonal, which I don't know what that is. So I think it was the, they've got so many arrows here that, so I don't know what the diagonal one was, but if you're interested enough, you can look that up. But that's, that is the picture there. So, and this is the battle scar right here. And the reason I'm so bruised here is because apparently they had leaked a little, they nicked an artery in my arm there. So the nurse came in when I was recovering, and she had to squeeze all that blood back up into, you know, back into the system. I don't know. But anyway, that is my battle wound right there. There is there was 3 little puncture wounds there. But I had a Band-Aid, and that's just the bruising. But I had 2 Band-Aids on there for 4 days, and they told me not to take them off and not to get the the area soaking wet. I could take a shower, but don't like submerge it in water, so I didn't. So anyway, they did shave my groin also in case they couldn't get into the wrist, but apparently now they're doing it mostly through the wrist and not the groin, because it's a much easier recovery. So they finished up with me, put me up into my room, and I have to say that I've not had any better care in any hospital that I've ever been in my entire 79 years. This hospital was the best. I was on the cardiac care unit. I've also got bruises here from the blood pressure cuff, because, you know, every 30 minutes they have to do your blood pressure when you're fresh out of the cardiac cath lab. So that's what they did. They did my blood pressure, my temperature. I had to have my arm on a pillow, and I had this apparatus on it so I wouldn't bend it or do this to my hands or my fingers. And let's see, what else can I tell you? I did still have that little bit of burning sensation, but I believe that's just something that's got to be worked out. They had me, it's funny because you're a cardiac nurse, you're a cardiac patient, but yet they give you food that has no salt. Of course not. No, you can't have any salt. But they give you margarine or a spreadable stuff with all kinds of bad ingredients, cottonseed oil, what other, all the bad oils that are in margarine and spreads, instead of just giving you some good healthy butter. No, you can't do that. But they'll give you pancakes and yeah. So I hadn't had anything to eat since Monday night at 7 o'clock. I finally had something to eat about 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. I finally got some dinner, and that was pretty good. No, I know it was good. It was some kind of a pork marsala, but it was pretty dry. So I only had a bite of that, and then they had rice pilaf, which was really good, so I ate that. And I am doing low carb right now, carnivore, ketovore, it's called, carnivore, keto, mix up. So the rice was not something, but I was so hungry that I had to eat it. And then she gave me a cup of coffee, and it was a fresh pot of coffee, and it was so, so good. So that was my first night, and then the doctors came in, and they talked to me, asked me how I felt, And the one doctor asked me if I wanted, and 3 doctors came in, one at a time, and then all 3 of them together. So that was my day, Wednesday. And I made Nate go home at around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Tuesday night because he was tired. He had been up all day with me. And so I made him go home and rest. And then he came back at 8 o'clock the next morning. I had breakfast. I had scrambled eggs, 2 turkey sausages, and I think she gave me a berry cup, which was strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries, and blackberries, I think. That was the best and the sweetest cup of fruit I've ever had. It was so good. It was delicious. And so then, another thing. This is amazing. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this, and this is like maybe TMI, but you're gonna hear it here. And ladies, you know, you can handle it. I don't know if the men can, but you can. So anyway, they put this, okay, so I had to get up to the bathroom, and all the equipment had to go with you, you know. So, but when I was in the ER, before they sent me over to the cath lab, I had to go to the bathroom, and then I had to go again because of all the water I'd been drinking. I finally took effect and started rushing out. So she said, the nurse said, well, I've got this thing. She said, it's a catheter, but it doesn't go up inside you in your urethra. It just lays against your area where you have to pee, and it's hook up to suction on the wall. You turn it on and you just pee, and you pee in it, and it just gets sucked up into the bottle. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's interesting. So I used that the whole time the whole Tuesday afternoon after I got diagnosed, after I went to the cath lab, and then when I come back to my room, and then through the night, so I wouldn't have to get up and bother the nurses because, you know, they make you call them when you want to get up. So anyway, Wednesday morning, she took it out, and I didn't have it again, so I only used it when it was necessary. But you could get used to that, get spoiled and get used to it, and then you have to remember that you don't have it anymore, so you have to be careful that you just don't pee the bed. That didn't happen. So as far as medications are concerned, we have a medication called Brilinta, and this is 90 milligram tablet, one every 12 hours, and the generic name is Ticagrelor, Ticagrelor, if you can see that right there. But so this, they said this may make you short of breath, but this drug is a blood thinner. It goes to, okay, so you know platelets go to an area to heal it, and so because I have these foreign objects in my arteries, the placenta, the platelets are going to attack that to heal it up. They think it's bad, but it's not. So this medication prevents that. So it's very important that I take it on time every day. So I have been doing that, and my first dose was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So of course my second dose was 3 a.m. But the next day they gave it to me at 4, and then at the nighttime, the next dose, I could have it at 5. So by the time yesterday came around, I have this now scheduled 7 and 7. So that's good. So with that, I cannot take the supplement that I take, the oil, fish oil. So that is no longer acceptable, and D3 with K2 is not either. So I have to talk to her, my doctor, about that when I go to the doctors. I have an appointment with my main doctor, or my primary care, on Wednesday, and then my cardiologist on November 4th. So let's see, what else did I want to tell you? It's just taken me, it's a hard thing to realize that you have actually had an event, and that's what it's called. It's an event, and it's a heart attack is something that doesn't happen to you. It happens to other people. And if I hadn't gone to the doctor or to that stress test like my husband insists I do, who knows if I would have been around today to tell about this and to do a video on this whole situation. And that is very hard to realize. It's emotional. It's hard to get back to normal life. And I know that eventually I'm going to be able to walk around the block. I'm going to be able to walk on the treadmill. And I'm going to be able to do things I haven't done for the last year because I've been feeling so crappy. So now my arteries, oh, by the way, were blocked 90%, those two arteries. So that's why I got short of breath walking from the car into church. That's why I got short of breath walking from the car to Goodwill. That's why I got short of breath walking around Sam's and Costco. And so now my arteries wide open and all that oxygen is coming through. So hopefully in the next week, I will be able to walk around and not be winded, not be out of breath, not be short of breath, and feel good. Right now, I don't feel so great, but I know that it's going to get better. They are setting me up with cardiac rehab. So that's where you go and you get hooked up with the EKG and you walk on the treadmill and you do the bike and you just get back into a normal routine of doing, exercise and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I truly am. And I just want to feel better. Okay, I think that is all I have to say right now. I do have a couple of things coming in the mail, so we'll be doing a show and tell or an unboxing. I did get some stuff from that place that I get some clothes from, but I didn't like any of it, so I sent them all back, and it wasn't even worth going through, and I just didn't feel like it anyway. And there's a certain time that you have to get them back in the mail. So yeah, so I think that's all. And I'm just gonna throw this out there that okay, so Nate had made a post on Facebook about this whole situation. And so, of course, there's always that one person that has to tell you about his long-lost uncle that was having pain and paid no attention to it and then dropped dead, So, I don't really need to hear that kind of stuff. So if anybody's out there that wants to tell a story about anything like that, I prefer that you wouldn't. And I do appreciate it if you didn't. So, anyway, please, I do want your comments. I do want your well wishes, and I do want any questions that you might have. But I want to tell you, in ending this video, I want the ladies out there to know that heart attack symptoms are different than men. If you're experiencing any kind of throat pain, jaw pain, arm pain, either arm, right or left, any kind of chest pain or any kind of burning sensation, any kind of upper GI sensation, nausea, vomiting, back pain, please call your doctor. See your doctor. Let him know. If it's nothing, great, but it could be something. So I just want to leave you with that. Thank you again for stopping by. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up on the video. Don't forget to share. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Most of all, be kind to each other. It is a rough world out there. I love you all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.